Thanks, Dave. First of all, obviously a great atmosphere. Really want to thank the fans and those that remember to wear red. But I thought it was a great college basketball atmosphere, and our team obviously responded to the atmosphere. I thought we played, for the most part, really well. Things I'll find on film, I'm sure, to correct, but it's a good day for basketball in the state of Wisconsin when you can have two teams in a lot of states that don't play, a lot of schools and states across the country that don't play in the same league. They duck each other and they don't want to play each other. And I think for us to continue to have this series, and obviously it volleys back and forth at times, but I think it's just good for the game of basketball in our state to put the spotlight on it for a day. And it helps the future, and that's, I think, what this is. So it's great for both fan bases to see this for a day, and obviously for the next generation to see that two schools right here in the state of Wisconsin can play good basketball. So on to the game, I think obviously Blackwell I thought was really good, really efficient. Took what was given. I thought our two bigs, Winter and Belauskas, he had 24 points and 23 rebounds between the two of them. I think Lexus is getting more and more comfortable, just a lot of good contributions across the board. I thought Rhodey was really good in defensively, of kind of captaining what we wanted to do and keeping the ball out of the paint as much as possible. That Rapp gave us some good minutes. I thought his passing out of some situations was good, and again, for the most part, a pretty efficient game, and enjoy this one tonight and then get ready to go back into league play. Go ahead.
Early this season showed you the type of offensive firepower and depth you thought this team could be capable of?
Yeah, I think there's still things we have to get better at. I think there's things right within the game we got better at today. I didn't think we got out of screens fast enough and aggressive enough from our 4s and 5s early, and we didn't put enough pressure on the rim. We started to do that a little bit later in the first half, and then just opens up so much more, not only for plays at the rim, but most of Rapp's assist came out of rolling and then distracting traffic and finding somebody on the other side. But I think just the consistency of the pace, it keeps us going, and that's when we see like we sputter at times. We've got to get a little more aggressive with rim running, a little more aggressive with getting out of the ball screens faster, whether we're sliding down or whether we're hitting and rolling, just being more aggressive with pressure on the rim. So I think we've got a lot of weapons, Jesse. I think we're not solely dependent. Obviously Blackwell has 30 today, but I think we have 2 or 3 other guys that could. I think Boyd's obviously had a high-scoring games. I think Winter's capable of doing that. I think Rhodey is capable of doing that. So, we have, different options, and a good team tries to continue to find ways and find other ways. When one thing's taken away, we have to go to plan B or C or D. So it's important that you have an unselfish team, that we move the ball, and then you get talked to him before the game. I said, turn down good for great. We move it well enough, we'll have good looks, but I want great ones, and for the most part, we did that.
That's great approach.
Right, you touched on it a little bit there with the Lexus. Obviously a double-double tonight, 27, 28 minutes. Just how are you seeing kind of some of that early growth and development within this game?
I think the biggest thing with the Lexus is just more comfortable and more at ease. I mean, he didn't get here until late August, so you can imagine coming from Lithuania. You know no one. You hadn't met anyone in person. Actually, he did meet Coach Randall when he was over at the U20s. He saw him play, but other than that, I mean, I see him in early September walking down Dayton Street, and I stop and jump out of my truck and go meet him face to face. I had done Zoom calls with him, but never had met him. And there's a language. His English is good, but it's not the first language like it is in Australia or New Zealand, where English is primary. So he's learning that, and he's got to meet all new teammates, all new coaches, and he missed the whole summer. if he had the 8 weeks here, it'd be a little easier transition. So for him, I know the first few days were pretty rough. It was hard, especially when his parents went back home after they dropped him off. But I can't be more proud of him, of how he's just stayed the course. He's tough. He wants to get better. He's just thirsting for knowledge and instruction, and it's good to see him. His parents are here. They've been here for this. They just came over to see him for his birthday this past week, and we're here again today. So it's good to see him perform really well with his mom and dad and his brother, his little brother, in the crowd, and it's you're just happy for him that he's in a short period of time he's progressed and really immersed himself in the team as much as he can.
Let's go, Ben.
Greg, what did you like about your team's defense in the low posts today, especially early when the shots were falling for you offensively?
Yeah, I think for the most part, we did a decent job of keeping the ball out of the paint, and that's really what you watch Marquette play, and they put so much pressure on you in transition with coming downhill with Ross and with James, and now with Sean Jones back. They just come with such velocity at you, so you have to get back and get your defense set. And there were times that we didn't do that well enough. And then obviously in the half court, you've got to be able to, again, keep the ball in front of us, in front of you. And I thought for the most part we did a pretty good job of that. And then we were able to force him into some tougher shots. And we lost Gold in the first half. He hit a corner three. There was 2 or 3 possessions there where I thought we got lazy in transition defense, and that was the first 3, and they got another 3 on the front of our bench, I think. But for the most part, I thought we were the first key is getting back quickly. Like, there's no celebration, there's no home run trot, sprint back, because the ball's coming right back at you, and for the most part, we did a decent job of that.
Lansing and Josh.
Greg, speaking of, maybe passing up good for great, John Blackwell didn't seem like he took a bad shot. And it just, that 30 points with ease, and then he mentioned he got emotional with that 1,000-point recognition or whatever, and thanked you and the program for obviously giving him a chance. What does it mean for you to see him take his game up another level, if not 2 levels, and do what he's doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great story because I got asked that question the other night after the Northwestern game, and for him to come, we were the only high major to recruit him, and that's everybody else's fault, I guess. So I'm glad I just trusted my gut and trusted my eyes of what I saw in him, and he's such a humble kid, but yet he's a consummate worker and he's a great teammate, and he's gotten better. He didn't come in with aspirations of something that he wasn't when he got here as a freshman. He understood that if he took care of the ball, he played hard and played defense, he'd probably get on the floor as a freshman, and he did. And then from there, your game grows. And a lot of times, so many freshmen come in and chase scoring, and they think that's the answer to get on the floor, and quite frankly, it's the opposite. Scoring falls in your lap if you do those other things really well. And then he's continued to add to his game. His body's improved. He's leaned up. He's got more muscle mass, and he's worked on his ball handling. He's worked on his shooting. And the impressive thing about JB is that he's steady. There's never too high. He's never too low. He didn't want me to take him out there when I subbed him with 3 and some minutes or whatever. And he goes, I said, the school record's 43. You're a long ways. You ain't getting 43 in 2.5 minutes. So there aren't that many possessions. So relax. We got bigger fish to fry. So just he's really fun to coach because he's such a great person.
Go ahead. We're back to Josh.
Consistency's been a pretty big point of emphasis recently. Do you feel like this was maybe the most consistent game you guys have played? How do you sort of build off the game?
Yeah, I think it was pretty close. I mean, there's always going to be – basketball is a game of mistakes, and you just try to be the team that commits the fewest. But I want our guys aggressive. I don't want them tentative. So with aggressiveness, there are going to be some mistakes at times. And just so that we don't repeat them time after time, the same ones. If you're going to make a mistake, make a different one. But I liked our aggressiveness consistently. I thought we were – and for the most part, we were locked in and in the right position defensively. We shut off a lot of what they were trying to do. But we can always get better. There's going to be a lot of things I'll pull out of the film tonight, and we'll go through it on Monday and learn from that as we get ready for what's coming next.
Go with Evan, and we got 3 more questions.
Coach,
Evans,
this
coach.
team has toughness question after losses to BYU and TCU, and Marquette had that run there in the second half where they're getting down in transition wherever they want. But for the most part, what did you just think of the team's ability to contest Marquette, keep them off the rim when it was in the half court, and your guards sticking their face in the fan there too and rebounding really well?
Yeah, I think that was important. Obviously, the Blackwell and Winter gobbled up a lot of rebounds, but I thought I liked the fight that we showed. I liked the toughness that we've shown, and that's an area that we're growing in. So I thought when they were getting downhill and some stuff in transition was because we were too loosey goosey on the other end. The ball didn't move well enough. I didn't think we got sloppy with some screening and decisions, and that allowed quick possessions, either bad shots, turnovers, whatever. It put us racing back the other way. It is not the position you want to put yourself in.
Michael?
You mentioned this. John's been a good player since he got here, but when did you start to notice the qualities of a player that could put up these types of numbers based on the last couple games?
It comes through development, through improvement. I mean, and then we never talk about numbers. It's just about improving your game, and then if you put in the work, the results will take care of themselves. So the 30 points and how he's played, that's a byproduct of him doing it the right way and being a consummate worker. And it's also, credit goes to his teammates. I think they realize he's a really good player and try to find him, and then how we play. He gets some stuff in transition, he gets stuff off the dribble, he can shoot the 3 behind the screens. He rebounds really well. He's always got his hands in around the ball when he's in that position. So it's no magic wand or silver bullet, so to speak, that make a player take this type of leap. It's work. It's a lot of time in the gym when nobody's watching. A lot of lonely hours that people don't realize how much time an individual has to put in, and they put in with whether it's their trainers. Everybody's got trainers now and workout guys, and you have to do that. It's not just showing up on game day or when we practice. You put in double, triple the time than you ever spend with the coaches, the coaching staff on your own, working on your game. So it's a credit to him that he's stayed hungry, and that's the key for JB going forward is continue to stay hungry. But he's in the gym. I think he has a 6 a.m. routine every day. He's in on his own, and a lot of shots, a lot of work. His pregame workout and routine is really good in terms of getting himself ready to play on game days. So you really have to commit to it if you want to be an elite player.
Yep, right there, please.
Marquette has struggled shooting a 3-ball so far this year, and in the beginning of the game they struggled again. I think they started like 1 for 9. Is that something you saw on film that you guys wanted to exploit, and kind of were you able to do that today?
They actually started 1 for 12, but the key is not so much to exploit that, but their strength is to drive the ball to the paint and play in transition. So you try to take away or minimize what their strengths are, and their strengths are obviously with Chase Ross being able to get downhill and how he can bust through gaps, and make plays at the rim. A couple of shots he got to go in today. I was like, how the heck did that go in? He bounced off bodies and went over jump walls, and we're able to finish plays. And he gets fouled a lot, because he comes with such a violent force downhill, and he's so quick. So you try to minimize as much of that. You try to keep the ball out of the paint, and then if it does get there, if you get a little bit, we had some silly fouls at the end of the first half. Blackwell had the one where he got his second right in front of me. I mean, we had him pretty well walled up, and he reached in and grabbed his arms. It was an obvious call. But you just try to avoid the silly fouls and make them have to take the tough ones through bodies. And, then you try to, again, just try to minimize what they're really, really good at. And for the most part, we did that.
Final question right up here, John.
Nolan, I think it's his 5th double-double this season already, only a month in. Kind of, I know that there's more that you'd like to see from him, but kind of how do you sum up the impact that he's already made and when he's able to kind of perform at the level he did today?
Well, I think he's consistent now, or more consistent than he's been obviously in his career, and he should be because he's more mature. He's got a lot of experience. He's played minutes. He's stronger. He knows his body is an important part of his consistency. He's got to take care of it. He's got to continue to get stronger. He's not at the finish line by any means in terms of what we're doing in the weight room, but I think that the confidence that comes with the strength and the right type of weight addition has been important for him because he can play longer stretches. I remember when he was younger, he kind of got the human windsock look going up and down the floor, and he's gassed. That's a lot of arms and legs to drag up and down the floor. So his stamina's gotten better because he's stronger. And I think he's still not even anywhere near where he can be. Yeah, I think he's got, at that size, how he shoots it, how he moves. Obviously he's gotten a nose for the ball with how he finds it in the right spots and is willing to rip. I haven't seen more rip rebounds loose this year. He didn't do that in the past. So that's a good sign that he's not only more aggressive, but he's more aggressive because he's more confident. He's more confident because he's stronger.
I guess I missed Jim.
Jim, yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
You talked about unselfishness before. Rody fits in that category. I mean, he might go long stretches without shooting because the offense goes to the other guys. He seems okay with that. And when you recruited him back in the spring, did you sell him on any kind of a role that might be just,
Not really. I mean, it was come home and help your home state school for your last. It's a homecoming for you. We took a swing at him coming out of St. Thomas. But I think for him, and he actually was up in my office yesterday, and we were chatting, and he's like, my shooting. I said, Rhodes, man, I'm not worried about your shooting. I mean, I'm not. You'll get the shots, and you'll get that. It's how you pass the ball, and I think that's his best skill. And that's what I noticed in June when we had him in workouts. At his size, and he handles the ball and how he has vision, like the size helps him periscope over a defense. But his unselfishness with the ball and his vision and his ability to put the ball on target, and then his defensive ability. Man, he's always in the right spot. He's quarterbacking the defense. He's very communicative. He talks a lot and he helps. And we've had a lot of players over the years like that help cover up for others' mistakes. And like I said, I think his activity with his hands, he pops balls loose at times. He's an important piece because of those things are just as or more important. That ability to make plays off the bounce and find people, and his defensive quarterbacking ability are as or maybe more important than how many shots he has go in. And then you knock in a few shots today, and obviously he looks all world. So, but that passing ability and that defensive kind of glue that he provides to keep us all on the right page is really important.